Isn't it?
Well, funny, Richard. Frank and I have just been debating that whole topic, and I think one thing that I think we agree with the fact that maybe it's a huge compliment how highly Alex Ferguson actually rates Dwight York.
I think that's exactly it. I think he thinks Dwight York is so good that he wants to keep him fresh for Wednesday. I think, as Clive said there, I think he'll bring him on at some time during the game. But people like Keane, who won't be fit for the final, he knows he'll be out there to play 90 minutes. But York, I think it's a tremendous compliment in a roundabout way to him.
Well, let's confirm the selection that Alex is starting with. Must have been a tough decision, but that's an easy one. No doubt the goalkeepers, probably last Wembley appearance, but the back four of the Neville brothers, flanking Ronnie Johnson and David May. What a powerful midfield. What a quartet. Width of Beckham and Giggs, the competitiveness of Keane, and the quality and goal scoring of Scholes. And up front, well, that's a surprise. No picture of Dwight York, but a formidable front two of Andy Cole and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, that's the 1-11. We can put this team in, I think. There's no doubt, as I've said, the Neville brothers will be
fullbacks,
at fullback. No doubt about that. May and Johnson will play in central. It's a pretty easy midfield as well. We'll go with Beckham, Keane, Scholes, Giggs. And I just wonder, do you think, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but the two up front, Cole and Solskjaer. And Ruud Gullit's response trying to beat this team is this 11. Steve Harper, not Shea Given, in goal. A back four of Andy Griffin, Laurent Charvet, Nikos Dabisas and Didier Domé. An experienced, well, three out the four, Robert Lee, Gary Speed, Dietmar Hamann and Alberto Solano. And up front, they're relying on Shearer in tandem with Tamuri Ketsbaia. So, we've agreed pretty much, and I think the lads in the studio, you've agreed that Manchester United are probably the best side in the country. Would that be fair?
Well, I think they've proved that they've won the championship, Andy, even though it's a point that they've won the championship, and they're an outstanding side.
The one thing I want to mention before we talk about Newcastle, do you think normally when we see York and Cole, or York and Sheringham, or Cole and Sheringham, we've got one of them off the front, but do you think with Cole and Solskjaer we might actually find them both playing up there?
I think so. That's both their styles, and he's scored 17 goals already, and he's been substitute most of it. I mean, it's unbelievable. I didn't realise he had scored that many goals. So shows you the squad that Alex got.
So you're Ruud Gullit, Frank. You're playing the best team in the country. You've said you don't think they can go into this game and just play and win. They must have a plan. They must stop United. Go through their team. You take us through it and tell us where they've got to be good. They've got to stop United, and then how they can possibly win it.
Well, first of all, if United have got the ball here and you can't win it back easily, I would suggest that they do like Nottingham Forest have done many years ago when they won the European Championship, is let them have the ball there. Drop everybody off to just round about the halfway line.
Put their system in. Put their,
okay, we'll put the full-backs here. Xavi. And we put the... It's 4-4-2, both are 4-4-2 anyway, so it's quite straightforward. And Shearer, Ketsbaia.
So what you're saying is if they've got it here, that Shearer and Ketsbaia can
drop off, and eventually even Ketsbaia especially can drop off that little bit further to make up the midfield. The idea behind it, I think, Andy, should be that do not give Manchester United time and space. If you give them time and space on this pitch, I think they will absolutely slaughter you.
So if they get caught chasing the ball up here, Frank, and this midfield gets caught like that, you're saying if there's space here and space here, they'll get done?
They'll get absolutely done because the movement of the two forwards is excellent.
So squeeze the space.
So squeeze them in. It's nothing. It's nothing that's really new, Andy. You know this before. But drop off, play it deep, keep neat close to your goalkeeper. Get your midfield right in front of your back four. Get one of your forwards in here as well. And I tell you what, sometimes it's so difficult to play 1-2s with so many congested bodies that what you have to do is hit high balls in. But Xavi and Davidas are reasonably good in the air, so
and these two are not the biggest either, are they?
They're not the biggest in the air. They're not really looking for the
ball.
What
about wide? I look at Manchester United and I see Beckham, massive threat. Giggs, massive threat. How do you cope with them two?
What I think they've got to do, I think that the Manchester United midfield for me, Andy, along with the Arsenal, are the strongest possibly in the whole of Europe. They are outstanding. I know what I think the manager will do. I think he'll get Lee to come back and double up. As soon as Ryan Giggs gets the ball, Lee will be back here. He'll be doubling up against his fullback, 2 against 1, communicating.
And the same on the other side?
Exactly the same on the other side with Solano and Domi.
Do you think, I mean, these two a little bit inexperienced in this country?
They have, yeah.
I mean, I just think, is that somewhere?
Well, that could be a weakness, Andy, because Beckham's in marvellous form. I mean, he's been scintillating since he come back from the World Cup. That will be a difficult for them, but they've got a better chance, Andy, rather than being spaced out and getting the ball to somebody like Beckham. He doesn't need to take people on. He will not obviously try to get past people because Beckham's not particularly quick. But you just give him a half a yard, he'll go out towards the touchline, whip the ball in behind people here.
We've only got 30 seconds or so, Frank. So, given that Newcastle do all that and they stop United, briefly, how do you think they can then score a goal at the other end?
Well, I think when you've got Alan Shearer, you've always got a chance of scoring a goal, Andy. You're against 2 centre-halves. You are second centre-halves. Not one of them is a Jaap Stam, a Tony Adams type of player. I think you've got a little chance in the air and in general strength. They're two very good players, but Shearer and Kitsbaya backing them up with the midfield then coming up, that always gives Newcastle. The thing is, Newcastle cannot get a goal against them in the first 10 or 15 minutes, Andy. It could completely ruin their chances. The longer they keep it 0-0, the more pressure's on Manchester United.
Well, sorry, Richard, we could sit up here, Frank and I, and discuss this for the next half hour, but we've got lots more on the show.
Andy, thank you. As you can see, a number of the players have made their way onto the Wembley turf to start their warm-up. And the clock is still counting with some 15 minutes or so. Those of us young enough will instantly recognise Desiree, who's just been singing her latest hit, I think the word is. And she'll be back to be part of the pre-match a little later as well. It's Wembley Stadium today. It's Manchester United and Newcastle United. As Newcastle found out last year, there's nothing for the losers. The only thing on a day like this is for the winners.
I want one. Ideally, would love an FA Cup winners' medal. I mean, we got so close last year. But as I always said, first is first, the rest is nowhere.
It's nice to win at Wembley. It's just not a nice place to come second.
It's always about the team that won, because people always remember winners.
They're right, you know. That's what made them winners, those particular gentlemen. Wembley in the sunshine for the 1999 Cup final, and next we'll be checking out the warm-up.
Intergalactic Strike Force SG-1 deliver justice through the Stargate.
Let us take you to the land of light.
It is not a curse. It is a disease.
Are you saying we could have brought a new plague to this planet?
A gateway to action. A gateway to excitement. A gateway into a completely new dimension. A special double episode of Stargate SG-1 tonight from 9 first on Sky One.
Size. It's not everything. 16 valves, increased torque, stiffer suspension, firmer dampers, extra va-va-voom. That's all very impressive. But really, you ought to be seeing it in the hands of a master.
The new Renault Clio 16 valve. Size matters.
Exclusive in tomorrow's Sunday People. From train spotting to Star Wars, the astonishing story of Ewan McGregor, his wild days, his amazing love secrets, and what really happened behind the scenes of Star Wars. It's the book everyone wanted. Now you can read it first, only in tomorrow's Sunday People.
Puts the fun in Sunday.
Sketches.
sketches. It's the S.
Yeah?
Dave, the match.
What?
The match, Dave, come on.
Oh, no.
Great. Yeah? I'm ready, mate.
Because Vodafone is giving away up to 50% more free minutes to new and existing digital account customers on its most popular tariffs, you now needn't worry about how often you call even your closest friends. So whatever the call, the word is Vodafone.
Some things in life look better with a bit chopped off. Pay for a year's gas up front through British Gas's advance payment option. And you could see around 15% locked off our basic price.
Slip this up your nose and you'll be surprised how quickly your hay fever symptoms can disappear.
Rhino last hay fever. Ready to control symptoms in 15 minutes. Lasts for hours.
I tell you, right on cue inside Wembley Stadium, which looks great from that angle, doesn't it? The players have at last stepped onto the pitch, stripped for action. Pictures today of that aerial view being provided by the airship, which is circling high above Wembley Stadium with permission from air traffic control, because normally this is Heathrow landing territory. England-Sweden, fortnight today, live on Sky Sports 2. That's a Euro 2000 qualifier, of course. And then football throughout the summer. We've got the Copa America, the best of South African football, live and exclusive from Paraguay. And that all starts on Tuesday, June the 29th. It's Manchester United against Newcastle United, live from Wembley. We'll join the players warming up in a moment. But first, the last part of Andy's Netbusters competition. Remember, 5 categories. He's picked the best 3 in each from 415 FA Cup goals scored this season. In a moment, it's your chance to join in. Right, category 5.
Well, I enjoyed judging this section. It really was fun. By individual, what I mean is a player doing something, scoring a goal without a great deal of help from any of his teammates. It's a player picking up a ball in an area where you think there's no danger. 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds later, he's scored a goal. I've narrowed it down. 3 great goals that are here for you to see. In third place, Mark Delaney. In Cardiff's 6-0 hammering of Chester early in the competition. Just watch him go. How far has he covered? Goodness knows. Not brilliant defender, but look at that for desire, for drive, for ambition. Finishes it off quite beautifully. Well, that was a wonderful goal. Now, I might upset 1 or 2 Tottenham fans, but he hasn't won this section. It's a brilliant goal. I'll slow it down. It's got balance, poise, ability, skill, and at the very end of it, a superbly cool finish. But it was against Barnsley. And part of the reason that David hasn't won it was that the winner was in a game against the meanest defence in Europe, Arsenal, and it's Ryan Giggs. 10-man Manchester United. He has to do something special. He can't rely on much help. He's only got Dwight York, so he just goes at this mean defence. He taunts them, he teases them, he gets a little bit of luck there, but when in, what a finish. Beautiful strike from Ryan Giggs. So, my 5th and final choice, goal 5, Ryan Giggs. So all you have to do is choose your goal of this season's FA Cup competition. If your choice matches mine, it gives you a chance to win this fabulous prize. It is a real VIP trip, this. It's 2 tickets for England against Sweden on June the 5th. And if you want to enter, well, there's your number. 0660 01 1101. That's 0660 01 1101. Well, I've made my choice. It's here in this envelope. We will be opening it later today after the game. If your choice matches mine, you've got a chance to win that fabulous trip. Good luck.
And it can be perverse, you know. It might not be the one that you expect, but I think the boys here have already chosen theirs. Frank McCLINTOck, Lou Macari, Clive Allen and Rodney Marsh, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you have. You've chosen it for us, have you?
Steve Harper's on the pitch. We haven't mentioned him yet. He gets the nod over Shea Given today, which may surprise some, might not others. But what on earth is he going to be feeling, Frank, as he steps out today? Third choice this time last year. Watch the game from the terraces. 12 months on, he's the first choice.
I think this is the 10th or 11th game this season, isn't it? I mean, you know, unbelievable. He must be feeling so chuffed. But Shea Givens, he's been an excellent goalkeeper when I've seen him as well. I don't know if he's actually injured or is this just the first choice?
No, I think he is first choice right now.
First choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's done very well because Shea Givens looked a very good goalkeeper as well.
It's a great story, Richard, isn't it? He was on loan for a long time last season at Hartlepool, I believe, and really, when you consider he's now playing in an FA Cup final, it must give a lot of heart to players all over the country, and he's been in good form.
We first caught sight of him, I think, at Charlton. Was it a league game? League game it was, wasn't it? This year, that's the one. And he had an absolute
Peter Beardsley last night.
Tremendous day.
Peter Beardsley last night was talking about him. He says he's a terrific young goalkeeper. Worked extremely hard. It wasn't a natural goalkeeper, but just every day in training doing extra. And he says he's come through.
Centre forward, Frank.
Do you know what as well, Richard? You said earlier about players being nervous. I tell you what, goalkeepers at Wembley are nervous. He's going to want an early touch, isn't he? You want to get touch the ball as early as possible.
So you're agreeing with me then?
Only for goalkeepers. Only for goalkeepers.
Yeah, but that's true because when you're a player, at least you can start running about. You get a kick, don't you? You get a tackle. Somebody whacks you, you've got a chance of getting your temper up. But goalkeepers are standing there waiting for the, hopefully not making a mistake.
There's a few gone back in the dressing room, not wanted to come out.
Yeah.
Dietmar Hamann becomes the first German to play in an FA Cup final today. I wonder if he'll have the sort of impact that many of his foreign predecessors have here. That's a player that Manchester United cannot afford to take their eyes off, Rod, isn't it?
Do you say the first German to play?
First German.
I wonder if Bert Trotman would argue with that.
He might. First outfield German to play in an FA Cup final. I wonder if many of his
when
foreign...
you don't do your research, that's what happens.
You're right, sir. You're absolutely right. Outfield, one word I missed. I wonder if he'll have the same impact as many of his foreign predecessors.
A lot of people would think he's a much better player than he's getting credit for. He scored about half a dozen goals this season, comes from midfield. My question today about him would be, he's going to have to be in the same area as, and here you see him striking a brilliant goal.
Well, he can hit a ball. We know that, don't we?
This is an unbelievable goal. Look at his 5 red shirts around. Hits it with the outside of his right foot, I think, in that one, didn't he?
I think he's very experienced.
So
he won't be fazed by the occasion, that's for sure. And he obviously possesses that ferocious shot, which, you know, is always going to be a danger to Manchester United.
My point was, Clive, he's going to be up against Keane and Scholes. When Scholes goes one way, is he going to track back with him? How's that going to work out? That's a match-up in midfield we're going to have to look at.
I think that could be a problem to Man United, Rod. I mean, Scholes in there, he's a non-defensive midfield player. Beckham's non-defensive. Ryan Giggs, he's no use for you either defensively. There's only Roy Keane in there, and against them, they've got Hamann, they've got Gary Speed who likes to get forward, Robert Lee we know can score goals. I think that's a concern for Alex Ferguson in that midfield area.
What sort of problems will Tamuri Kets-Bayer pose Manchester United?
I think the unpredictable.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't know what he's going to do, and I don't think Kets-Bayer knows what he's going to do sometimes. He's one of those players that could come to Wembley, actually, you know, play magnificent and win the game for Newcastle, or he could be an absolute flop. I don't think there's any in between with Kets-Bayer.
I think the thing is, because he comes into such strange positions, he'll play deeper, he can score goals, he can create goals, as we've seen in the earlier rounds, especially for Shearer. And I think that's the problem. He won't go and play up alongside Alan Shearer. He will move around, he'll just, as we see, in a deeper position, picking the ball up. Very difficult to mark. What a tremendous strike that was against.
Wasn't he a midfield player originally, Clive, wasn't he?
I think he
started off as a midfield player. I think that's why he likes comfortable being there.
I think that's why he'll always drop off of Shearer and play deeper than Shearer.
Alan Shearer, we know everything about. I just wonder how deep inside him burns the desire to be a Geordie skipper lifting up the FA Cup.
Well, he's done everything else, Richard. He's got wealth, he's England captain, he's done it in the England team. He's been here last year, and as he admitted himself, they were an absolute disaster. They didn't even turn up, they didn't put on a performance whatsoever. He's come back this year, every chance of not only himself redeeming himself for the non-performance last year, but the team itself. And he knows what these Geordie supporters are like. I mean, he knows how desperate they are for success.
Do you think, Lou, that if he didn't win this cup final, do you think Alan Shearer would consider maybe leaving Newcastle?
I would think with everything he's done, Frank, and as I say, the wealth that he's got, I think it's very difficult to keep yourself going. When now all that's left for Alan Shearer is actually to win things.
He's a great player.
And if he doesn't feel he's going to win things, Rod, at Newcastle, like Frank's indicating, he might be off.
I think Alan Shearer, Rich, is a great footballer. You know, I've said this before, in the dictionary where it's got professional footballer, there should be a photograph of Alan Shearer. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Everything that Newcastle do, he takes the free kicks, he takes the penalties, he's the leading scorer, he does everything for them.
Takes the money.
He takes the money.